Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So what do we have going on today? We've actually got a lot going on today, and I think my last story might be my most fun story. The SEC is reducing their crypto enforcement unit. They're actually reassigning about 50 different crypto enforcement staff, including attorneys. And that's actually a very big deal. And the reason why is because, well, you have crypto mom Hester Pierce handling business. There's going to be a separation between, or a diminishing of the SEC's overreach. That's one of the complaints that she's had. And there's also going to be a difference between, enforcement and guidelines. Instead of working against, how about working with? I'm telling you, Hester Pierce has had a plan for a long time, and she's probably dancing a jig as she gets to actually implement that plan right now. It's one of the most beautiful things I've seen. The only thing that would have made it better for me was if she actually took over as SEC chairman. And I told you before, I can actually understand why she wouldn't. One of the reasons why she wouldn't is because the SEC chairman doesn't really stay that long. If you're a career professional, you don't aspire to be a chairman. You aspire to run a task force such as this, to begin a task force such as this. Her position is sealed in history. I think it's going to be something awesome. Then you have XRP Ledger. XRP Ledger faces rare hour-long production halt, a technical disruption at Ledger height 939-27173. Caused an hour-long block production halt on XRP Ledger before self-recovery, sparking concerns over transaction safety as XRP dropped about 8.3% to $2.52. Now, for me, the key word there was self-recovery. They watched the problem happen. The system checked itself. The system recovered itself. I don't know nobody in the XRP army, such as me, is worried about this. Not as a matter of fact, at least for me, my faith in XRP Ledger is reinforced. That's a big deal. And you want to know what really happened? That really just sealed it? CTO comes out and says, yeah, we had a problem. This was the problem, blah, 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 blah. Was 100% transparent about what was going on. The transparency is what gets me. Now, we had a several hour long congestion problem with Solana. They were incredibly transparent as you having a sack over your head, covered with a black plastic bag, locked in a room with no sound and no light. That's about as transparent as they were. There is no comparison, none. No comparison whatsoever. And I think Solana's biggest problem, like I said before, is not going to be XRP. XRP has already surpassed it. XRP isn't even looking in its rearview mirror anymore because Solana doesn't matter to them. Love that. Love that. You want to know who Solana has to worry about? Solana actually has to worry about Cardano. Let that just wash over you for a minute. Solana has to worry about the world's #1 most decentralized project because it's making moves. There's also a deal in the works between them and Ripple. Now, when you look at poor little Solana, who has an outage, who doesn't want to tell anybody, hey, we have a problem, and Cardano, who's upfront, the project is upfront, transparent about everything, and now it's the most decentralized project on the planet. On the planet, I love Cardano. Let's not get it twisted. And everything that they have going on, you're going to hear about a lot more application development going on Cardano. than you will on Solana. You're not really doing development on Solana if you're all you did was use pump.fun. We did it. We have a community coin on pump.fun, right? We did it because we wanted to see how it was. We wanted to protect the name, obviously, but we also wanted to make sure, do we have it right? How does this work? I'm not mad at pump.fun, except for taking liquidity, but still not mad at it. If you wanted a quick meme coin that wasn't going to do anything, okay. I wouldn't even get mad at you if you're going to have a coin that you wanted to launch quickly and then eventually graduate to being a real deal coin. Not mad at you. Not mad at you. But that's all the traffic it has. That's all the traffic that Solana has. Or the bulk of the traffic that Solana has. Honestly, look at the numbers. When memes go away, Solana's going to drop like a hot rock. You do not have reliant application development happening on Solana. You have it on Ethereum. You have it on even Polygon. You have it on Avalanche, Aptos. You have it on so many other places. You don't have institutional awareness in terms of development on Solana. Can't be depended upon. No resilience. Just saying. So that's going to be a very big deal as we move forward. Bitcoin's realized cap hits $850 billion. Okay? That's a big deal due to increased institutional and sovereign adoption, outperforming silver, Saudi Aramco, and Meta, while investor demand remains a little uneven. But growing on the institutional side, and as awareness comes, also growing on the retail side. So it's a little uneven, but still, imagine that. Imagine that. Its realized cap surpasses all of that. I'm still jaw dropped over Saudi Aramco. That's no joke. That's a really big deal. Really big deal. 2025 has Bitwise thinking that tokenization, stablecoins, and institutional adoption are going to drive everything in 2025. I can tell you right now, I agree with those three. But I agree that there are two missing from that list. Want to know what they are? Decentralized physical infrastructure networks. That's going to be one. The next one is going to be AI. And some people might say, well, AI is overhyped. You could run with that. Except AI can be used for a lot of different things. If you don't believe me, get into the conversation that we had last night about AI, innovation, and how that innovation can affect your bag. All right. The reason why it's such a big deal is because when you put all five of those together, you sit back and you go, holy moly. What's the most powerful one out of all of them? It's going to be real world tokenization, real world asset tokenization. That's going to be the biggest number. It's going to be the biggest number. The other part, people look at me and go, AI is hyped, it's hyped. The technology itself is going to become a part of the connective tissue, period, by far, hands down. I am a technologist. I own a technology firm. I own a consulting firm. And the one thing that's tried and true, anything that I can use to make my team better, you better believe I'm going to find a way to use it. I want you to take a step back and think about Microsoft Office. Before that, it was WordPerfect. Before that, it was the physical word processor. Before that, it was a typewriter with a little bottle of white out, and then you had yellow out if you were in the legal industry. I'm telling you now, AI is going to be ubiquitous, just like those other Office applications. It's going to be a very big deal, and you should be paying attention to it. So yeah, it's going to be those five. It's going to be, absolutely tokenization of real world assets. Let me get to that list. I just had it. It was just here 2 seconds ago. Oh my God. Tokenization, stablecoins, and institutional adoption, along with decentralized physical infrastructure networks, or DPINs, and AI. That is the core. Those 5 things are going to drive 2025 as well as 2026, in my humble opinion. Telling you, pay attention to this stuff. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits. And absolutely invest deliberately. And with those 3 things in mind, the GMB3, I'm telling you, you're gonna look at AI very differently. You're gonna look at AI and you're gonna be like, why are people saying that this is a hype bubble? It's not. It's absolutely not. I know a couple of CIOs and they're like, oh well, I'm glad we're getting over the hype bubble, blah 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 blah. They don't mean the technology. They mean a couple of the companies that were behind it. DeepSeek needed to come along. QWen needed to come along to kind of let the air out of these companies out there. You know which ones I'm talking about. Then we've got Ondo Finance introducing a blockchain update for tokenizing real-world assets. Ondo Finance expands its Ondo GM platform to tokenize stocks, bonds, and ETFs, including plans for tokenized U.S. Treasury fund on XRP Ledger. Did you hear me? That last point, on XRP Ledger. We covered that a few days ago. That's going to be huge. Huge. Here's something for you to contemplate. They've got a whole platform for it. That's great. They're going to be going after tokenization in a major way. That's awesome. You want to know who else is also in that space, already working with banks and doing that same exact thing? Chainlink. You want to know the advantage that Chainlink has over everybody else? Data access. Data access. They're an oracle, the world's largest, and their data just keeps growing and growing and growing with every single partnership. That's what's going to wind up being huge. That one right there is going to wind up being huge, and Ondo is in that space. Ondo, Avalanche, Chainlink, even Polygon's in that space. You have a couple of companies, a couple of projects that are in that space that are going to be huge. I keep telling people, there's not going to be a single coin. They're going to be a few coins. At the end of the day, there are going to be a few coins that handle a whole bunch of stuff. That's what's going to wind up being huge. Then you got poor little crypto.com trying to move on a Kronos ETF, CRO, that coin. They're saying that they have institutional interest. And I'm like, really? Kronos, CRO? Are you serious? I'd like to know who's shown interest. Now, Crypto.com as a platform has been making moves around the world, doing their thing. Happy for them. Nothing wrong with that. Like that about them. Right? But an ETF, and you guys know how I feel about an ETF, about a single asset. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Unless it's something that you absolutely cannot get unless you go through this ETF, which I wouldn't like that either. It's the dumbest thing in the world. There's nothing good about that. Not a thing. Nothing. So I just sit back and I just wonder, how's that working out for you? Why do you think that's a good idea? Oh, it's news. Okay. All right. Then you have Neptune Digital buying 1 million Doge. It equates to like $370 million, right? I mean, $370,000. Guess what? Doge didn't move. Neptune is a publicly traded company based in Canada. Didn't do anything. Didn't move the needle. Why are you buying Doge? Why? What does Doge do? The Doge does as the Doge does. But what does Doge do? If you know what I'm talking about, it's the court jester with Danny Kaye. Just saying. But yeah, Doge doesn't do anything. You'd have been better off buying Shiba Inu. And by the way, yes, I love Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is I think Doge has problems. I think the only reason why Doge has lasted for so long in the top 10 is because of that guy. I hate saying his name. Because I don't like him at all. Not in the slightest. I think he's overrated. Very much overrated. Smart? Possibly. Definitely smart. Excuse me. But we won't get into that. Just leave that alone. But Doge doesn't do anything. Shiba Inu, on the other hand, has a whole ecosystem. A huge ecosystem consisting of 4 coins, and now they're talking about their digital universe. A digital state, if you will. That's cray. Cutting a deal with the UAE. Shiba Inu is doing a lot of things. Doge is only there because it was first. It was the first meme coin. That's the only reason why it's in the top 10. It'll fall out of the top 10. And once it falls out of the top 10, I think that'll be it. I think you'll just see Doge continue to fall. And it's not necessarily that you'll see Doge continue to fall, but you'll see other projects like Sui, Toncoin, just a whole bunch of other projects, Hyperliquid, just coming along, Ondo, just coming along. They're rising and Doge isn't doing anything. I think that's how that's going to work. Now, we can see ups and downs with Doge. It's great. It'll move up and down just like the rest of the market, right? I just think that Doge doesn't do anything, and there are other projects out there that I'd rather risk my money on. Just saying, that's just me. That's just me. Then you have Chamath Palihapitiya. He is a billionaire guy, and he's proposing that the U.S. use the current holdings that it has, right, of Bitcoin as a part of the sovereign wealth fund. You'd be able to pay for things like getting in on TikTok, all this whole other stuff. I mean, just look at how Saudi Aramco moves, right? I think the sovereign wealth fund could actually make a difference. I think it'd actually make a difference. Then you have Binance. This is my favorite, one of my favorite stories of the day. Binance backed Travala and Trivago partner to expand crypto-powered travel bookings. Travala integrates with Trivago, providing access to 2.2 million properties while enabling crypto payments and Bitcoin rewards amid a $100 million revenue growth. That's the opportunity that we're pointing out here. Travala is doing some stuff. Travala is doing some stuff. I'm saying it because it's crypto-powered bookings, meaning that Travala will now have access to Trivago's database of properties, and you'd be able to pay for your stay using crypto. I have a friend in Curacao. He's a property manager, and I said, one of the biggest things that's going to come along is the ability to pay for Airbnb-styled rentals and hotels, with crypto. You want to know what's going to make things explode in the travel industry besides hotels? The first time you get an airline to join that little network there. Imagine like a Delta. Imagine what airlines you'd be able to get if you got just one major. Go to JetBlue. See if you can get JetBlue to do it. JetBlue was born on a wing and a prayer. They went out to 100 different millionaires and said, if I get 99 other millionaires, will you give me $1 million to start this airline? Yes. Next one, yes. Next one, yes. Next one, yes. At the end of the day, he had 100 different people. Give me the money. So the legend goes. But still, I think if you sign on JetBlue, you'll get a whole bunch of other airlines, bigger and smaller, to sign on. So, because it's usually air travel, hotels, that's right, and car rentals. That's going to be huge. That right there is something that is going to be huge. Now, mind you, Travala was on the chopping block. A deal like this might take them off the chopping block. It's a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. I keep telling people, if you are a e-commerce company, you should call me up. We have a hosting platform, Rebel Reach, that can host your e-commerce site. You can still do PayPal. You can still do credit cards. But in addition, you'll be able to do OTC crypto transactions. No middleman. It doesn't traverse through us and then go to you and back. No, no, no. Your customer, you. That's the link. That's the link. That's freaking awesome. Direct sales. Oh, you get all your money. Oh, tell me that's not awesome. But that's my favorite. That's my favorite article of this morning. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let's do that. Let me get my notes out of the way. So today, what do we have? We've got ADP unemployment, U.S. trade deficit, a whole lot of Fed speak, ISM services, and S&P final U.S. services PMI. It's going to be a nice day. And it becomes more tomorrow and the day after. Crypto fear and greed index, we dropped all the way to 54. I told you it was going to go down again. Now I expect it to actually go up. We've got a lot of good news coming. Things are settling down. That whole China thing, it was supposed to be more. We only got 10%. It was supposed to be more. But a lot of conversations have been going on, and it's not done yet. I think a lot more conversations is going to happen, and things are going to go well. DeFi Llama, where it's still was slightly above yesterday, which was 114.0 something billion dollars in total value locked. We're up about 390. About $390 million. So right now, this is a good number. This is a good thing. The reason why, I want to see it rise, but I don't want to see it fall below 100. Now, when you're looking at Bitcoin again, this was where we were tracking, and then we hit the tariffs, and we plunged, drifted a little bit, dropped again, came back up, based on Canada and Mexico deals. But then everybody remembered, oh yeah, we still have China. And then now it looks like we're going back up again. Let me see if we can zoom in a bit. All right. Can I zoom in? No, that won't do that. Okay. So there you are. And we're moving sideways right now. We could go a little bit lower the way this line is looking. It's tipped down a bit. But I think eventually we come back. I think things stabilize and we come back up. I think that's what's going to wind up happening today, right? It's honestly the way I think it's going to happen. But it really, 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 I mean, look at the bottoms right here. That's where we got this line. And then we said, look at the bottoms right here and compare the two. And we were right there. You could see what was about to happen. And then we got hit with this. And all it did was create opportunity to buy. And then when you look at the big board, you're kind of like, ooh, there's a lot of stuff going on. There are a lot of opportunities. Yes, there are. Solana's back over 100. XRP is in a brilliant buying position as far as I'm concerned. Same thing with Ethereum. Same thing with BTC. There's just a lot here for me to look at, for me to be able to say, okay, this gives me a general idea about what the market is doing, my favorite coins, where do I want to be? And then I start looking at, the numbers year to date. And some of them are still doing well, and a lot of them are down. But the ones that are doing well, you start to look at a little bit differently, right? You start to do a little bit more research and dig in. You see, there's Mantra in the top 25 now. The big baggers, I keep telling you guys, go to growmybag.tv/sign-up to become a big bagger. Mantra is on the big bagger index list. Just saying. We bring these coins to the floor. We have debates. We get into it, and then we determine if it's going to be on that list. Just saying. It's a very big deal. Just saying. I love it. But then I go to the GMB crypto tracker, and let's take a look at the losers first. All right. Yep. So we stop at about right here. Is there anybody that I'm actually looking forward to? So you have Jitto down 6%, GMB X factor of 1.17. Yep. Athena is down 7% with a GMB X factor of 1.60x. That's it. Those are the only two on that list that I actually care about. Then you get over to the winners, and you start to realize that list goes further down, all the way down to here, right? And you kind of go, well, who are we looking at? Let's see. That official Trump coin moved 10%. I mean, it's down humongously. humongously. It's got a GMBX factor of 2.93, but you can't ignore it. This is a coin that you could possibly play around with and make money on all the bounces. Just saying. Dog with hat up 10%, GMBX factor of 4.79. Is it going to make it? I don't think so. I sold a lot of my dog with hat. Arbitrum, I was in the black when I did it. I did it a few weeks ago. Arbitrum is up 6.69%, GMBX factor of 3.85. Aave is up 6.42%, GMBX factor of 1.42. Aave is another one that I believe is a part of the connective tissue, especially when you're looking at the DeFi space where they've got 64% of the market, 64% of the market. So yeah, pay attention to that. Notcoin is up. I don't think Notcoin is going to get back to where it was. Look at this. It started last year. It's got a GMBX factor of 8.66. I just don't see it. I just don't see how it gets there. I think the hype from that one is gone. I mean, I still hold a bag just in case. I still hold a bag, but yeah, I just don't see how it's going to recover from that. And is there anybody else? Optimism is up about 5.26% with a GMBX factor of 3.32. Hasn't had a lot of noise, hasn't done a lot of stuff, but I do think it can make it. Sui up 5.19%, GMBX factor of 0.50. I'll keep telling you guys, pay attention to Sui. Pay attention to Sui for sure. Then you've got XTZ. The only reason why I'm covering this is because Ty Dollar put us on the Tezos. Tezos is up 4.99%, close enough to 5%, so it still barely misses my rule, but it's at a GMBX factor of 9.13. Do I think it's going to get there? No. Do I think it'll X? Yes. So that's why I kind of keep an eye on it. But anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, and don't forget, become a bagger. A bagger is only $12 a year, and becoming a big bagger, if you're a serious investor, doesn't mean you have big pockets. It means that you have serious investment, ideas that you want to, talk about with other people, other like-minded people. That's only $120 a year. You want to know what you get access to as a big bagger? All baggers get access to over 7,000 articles. That's right. We've published over 7,000 articles in just 3 years. Then you also, as a big bagger, the biggest thing that you get is a once a month video conference call with just the big baggers, comparing notes, sharing ideas, and having discussions around investment. All kinds of investment, by the way. That happens once a month, private video conference call. And the next one is actually this Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Become a big bagger. I'm telling you, it's awesome. GrowMyBag.tv/sign-up. I'm telling you, it's very much worth it. Everybody, have a great day. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. And absolutely, as always, thank you for your patience.